It's the Diamond K Show.
So much going on in the world. You talk about things from the perspective of how it is. DJ Diamond K, sometimes it comes off like you are almost not in support of, but you just accept the way things are and there's no chance of change. Check me out on YouTube. That's the part that I am just like,
OnFireTV.com.
Welcome back. You man Diamond K in here, of course, the DiamondKShow.com. OnFire-TV.com and RadioFire.com, the WRF radio app. Happy Friday to everybody. We're doing a late show today. I had a lot of things going on, and it's all good. So we got a lot of things to dive into. A Baltimore man seriously wounded two Squeegee kids, shot them, actually. We're going to talk about that. Baltimore parent arrested after a fight with students at Mervo High School in Baltimore. Uvalde schools suspend the entire police force after outrage. President Biden pardons simple possession of marijuana. Where have we heard this before? Wes Moore pays the $21K water bill for his Baltimore home. $21,000? Are you kidding me? Somebody getting overcharged? The Maryland Court of Appeals rules against gubernatorial candidate Dan Cox regarding the counting of mail-in ballots. We're going to dive into that. New York cop car plows through a group of people, and the January 6th panel has announced when they are going to reschedule their hearings. The insurrection, the attempted overthrow of the government. Yeah, we're going to talk about that. So in Baltimore, there has been this outrage for years because black men have been, I guess not only black men, but mostly black men doing what they call Squeegee kids. And for some reason, folks are upset about this. And so you have that. So you have many folks demanding solutions. Some people making a big deal about Squeegee kids. Squeegee kids. So you can go to, I guess like any corner in Baltimore, any major intersection, and the probability is high that you are going to have some kids on the corner that want to clean your windows. Now, I've talked about this many times. I have never had any problem with the Squeegee kid. And I usually don't give them money because I usually don't have cash. And I damn sure ain't give them my phone so they could, type in something in my I don't even have Cash App. Right? Whole nother story of that. But I mean, any kind of electronic payment, yeah, I'm not giving them my phone for that. But that seems to be what happened in this story. And, the story is sad. I think that the story is sad because you have obviously some people that were shot, some young folks that were shot. Now, the shooter is a 26-year-old man. 26 years old. And this 26-year-old is in jail, arrested on attempted murder charges. Attempted murder of Squeegee kids. Now, this is a crazy story because he doesn't, he didn't know exactly who he was looking for. He didn't know exactly who he was looking for. So how he came up with this whole theory and this whole premeditated attack. Here's the guy. He's a kid himself, 26 years old. As I said, arrested last month on these charges. We found out about this case, first reported by Justin Fenton of the Baltimore Banner. So Zamil Dixon is accused of wounding a 17-year-old boy and a 23-year-old man back in May. Now, this happened in an alley in the 2400 block of Edmondson Avenue. So, according to documents, Dixon, the man pictured, approached three young people who were washing car windows in East Baltimore, Moravia Road and Sinclair Lane. He offered them money to help him move some items. So he offers them money, and these Squeegee kids agree and get into Dixon's truck. The man pictured here, he has a truck. He approaches the Squeegee kids, offers them the opportunity to make some, more money than what they can get on the corner. And so, according to documents, moments after they arrive outside of a home on Edmondson Avenue, Dixon approached the Squeegee kids with a handgun saying, "Who did this to my mom? Who took the money the other day?" Dixon then began firing, striking the 17-year-old in the back of the head and the 23-year-old in the neck. The third Squeegee kid was able to escape without injury. Now, before y'all go saying you understand and you would have done the same thing, how do we know? How does he know that these are the kids that did it? And even if they were, like, is this how we handle this? Is this the Wild Wild West? Is this Dodge City? We got enough crime issues already for folks taking the law into their own hands in this brazen, premeditated attack. Goodness gracious. So police learned of Dixon's connection to the Squeegee kids after Dixon spoke about it in a phone call to his brother. His brother was in jail, and Dixon and his brother talked about how Squeegee kids stole money from their mother. So this young man, not only does he assault, almost kill these kids, but then he's talking on the phone. He's talking on the phone. And he's talking on the phone to an inmate. You got to know that these calls are being recorded. So essentially, he snitches on himself. He brings his own self into this whole thing. So he acted out of emotion, and then it's crazy how this happens. So according to these documents, he's the one who brought the attention. He's the one that brought the attention to it. Police learned of his connection after he spoke about it to his jailed brother. Now, his mother, Dixon's mother, reported to the police back in May that a group of Squeegee kids stole $2,200 from her via Cash App on her phone at East Belvedere and Fenwick Avenue. It was unclear whether the shooting victims were the same Squeegee kids who stole from Dixon's mother, but what he did was he goes up on the spot and he says, I'm getting whoever is out here. I'm getting whoever's out here. So he was arrested last week. He is being held in central booking. I mean, there have been dozens of people who have been reporting crimes like this Cash App scam by the Squeegee kids in recent months. And here's how it goes. I don't advise people doing this because I know many women that say, "Oh, I'd rather give it to one Cash App," and then you'll say, you know, what's the Cash App? And they say, I'll type it in, and they type in their Cash App and then put in a number real quick. So maybe she's gonna give him $20, and he types in 2,200, and it hits. You know what I mean? But like I said, so beware of this scam. So the Squeegee kid washes the window of the driver who doesn't have cash. When the driver explains that she has no cash, the Squeegee kid directs her to pay via a phone app. At some point, the scammer gets hold of your phone and transfers a large amount of money from your bank account. Dixon's case is another example of violent incidents involving Squeegee kids. So I told you many times, I don't give them money because I don't have cash. I'm not giving them my Cash App. But you don't give them your phone. You don't do that. You don't know them like that. Now, we're already waiting for the courts to decide whether the shooting of Timothy Reynolds, remember that, in downtown Baltimore, that confrontation with another group of Squeegee kids at Conway and Light Street near the Inner Harbor. We're going to find out shortly whether or not that case is going to be tried in juvenile or whether he's going to be tried as an adult. For many years, young people, mostly black teenagers, have congregated at downtown street corners or a street corner in your community in Baltimore, washing windows for tips. Many drivers think that they're a nuisance, performing some kind of unwanted service. You didn't ask them to do this. They're just doing this. And in many instances, this leads to some kind of a conflict. So we've heard reports of assaulted drivers, vandalized cars, stolen money. In the Squeegee kids' defense, they say that they're just trying to make an honest dollar. And opportunities in their communities are extremely limited. That is true. In many instances, that is true. So they say that the reported violence is blown out of proportion. They're saying that they are mostly just isolated incidents. Supporters of Squeegee kids say that drivers wouldn't be reacting this way if the teens were white, and that is true. That is true. Now, I'm not letting Squeegee kids off the hook altogether because sometimes the way that they approach some people can be intimidating. And, that happens many times. Folks on the city council and likely the next Baltimore City State's Attorney Ivan Bates have said that the Squeegee kids have to stop. It's not safe for the Squeegee kids or the motorists. Brandon Scott, the mayor of Baltimore, is trying to use some social programs to help, usher the Squeegee kids into some more traditional jobs so they can take taxes out that money, right? But they have not cleared Squeegee kids from the corner. I don't think that they can do that. I don't think that that's going to happen. This is just something that we've been dealing with for a long time. It flares up, it goes down. We're going into the winter months, so that's probably this whole Squeegee thing is probably going to slow down until the springtime. I'm thinking, the weather. I mean, the weather. It's going to be snow outside soon. Who knows? But sad. The situation is sad because you have these young men, and maybe they were the ones who did it, maybe they weren't, but they are trying. This 26-year-old man attempted murder. This is going to be a serious thing. And we don't even know if these were even the right people. Shooting two Squeegee kids that he blamed for the theft of money. 17 years old, 23 years old. Just a dramatic thing. I'm sad for this. I'm sad for this. I'm sad for the kids that have been shot. I'm sad for the young man that wanted to just protect his mother. Numerous charges. So first degree assault, 2 counts of attempted first degree murder. Wow. Who did this to my mom? He said. You have got to, ladies, and ladies do this all the time. If you don't have cash and they're asking you for money and you decide to give them money, you need to type that in yourself. Do not give them your phone. Do not give them your phone. I would prefer you just give them cash. And if you don't have cash, you just say no. It's being reported that another woman lost close to $2,000 when she offered her phone to the workers. Do not offer your phone to the workers. Police were able to identify Dixon as a suspect after towing the pickup truck and obtaining fingerprints from his vehicle. So here's that case. Here's that thing. And as I said, sad situation all around, stemming essentially from the lack of opportunities. And then this thing just spiraled out of control. We'll keep you posted on that. Let me know your thoughts in the comment section on all social media. Diamond K Show. Diamond K Show. Hit me up. We'll do this, take a quick break, and then we're going to come back. I got a gang of topics to get into, and we'll be back right after this.
Visit OnFireTV.com for live top stories, breaking news, and original shows.
Looking for food that feeds your soul? Hoodfellas Bistro and Catering is your local African-American owned restaurant offering American cuisine. Located across from the courthouse, we offer daily jury specials to reward civic duty. Enjoy our full-service restaurant and fully stocked bar. Dine in, pick up, delivery, and catering. Our themed happy hours feature live music, handcrafted drinks, and weekly specials. Book your private event at hoodfellowsbistrocatering.com.
Why are they scared?
Welcome back. Your man Diamond K in here, of course. The DiamondKShow.com. A lot of things going on. This is that commercial you just saw was for the Halloween haunted house at the Cecil Kirk Recreation Center. Let's get ready to play October the 26th, 27th, and the 28th from 6:30 to 8:30 p.m. As I said, the Cecil Kirk Recreation Center, 909 East 22nd Street in Baltimore, 21218. It is absolutely free, and as you can see, looks very scary. Very scary. Also coming up, the Blackout 2022 at the Diamonds Event Center, located on Liberty Road in Randallstown. This is the original, the one and the only Iceland organization, Sound Vision Ladies, U30, Team Infamous, and Sound Vision Entertainment present the Blackout Party. Music orchestrated by, they have two ballrooms, DJ Double L, DJ Jamal, DJ Titan. In ballroom number 2, DJ One Love and DJ Cell, hosted by MC Franchise and MC Ice. This is an event for the grown and sexy adult crowd that you do not want to miss. Saturday, October the 22nd. This is a blackout party, so you got to wear all black. 9 p.m. to 2 a.m. As I said, Diamonds Event Center. Tickets, $25. Open buffet, cash bar. It's going to be a lot of fun. You get tickets right now. Metro 2 in Reisterstown Plaza, M&K Music Warehouse in Security Mall. The blackout party is always a whole lot of fun. I am really looking forward to that. So, just a lot of crazy stories. A lot of crazy stories. I understand that we are living in a different time. I understand that. Back when I was in school, things like this did not happen. I mean, this, I guess things could have happened, but, usually students took care of things themselves. But yesterday, a parent arrested after a physical fight, a physical altercation with students at Mervo High School. Parent arrested. So who initiated this? According to the school officials, around noon on Thursday, a female student was having a conflict with other students, and she let her parent in through an unauthorized door. She's wrong right there. A physical fight happened between the parent and the students. Can you imagine this? Somebody's parent that student let in is fighting kids in the hallway in school. School officials said that the parent was arrested on assault charges and the students were disciplined. I mean, they can get her for trespass. They can get her for a whole lot of things. She entered the school. It's different than the students fighting each other. This parent comes to the school during lunchtime. It's 12 o'clock, it's 12 noon. No other information available. I've heard a lot of rumors as to where this parent may have worked. But we're not going to talk about that until we get a confirmation on that. But as I said, I've seen some things out there about that. And, it's not a good look. It's not a good look. Many times parents want to get involved in these things. Many times. I get it. But you gotta let your child handle this stuff. You got to push your child to do it. You can't do it for them. This is crazy. This parent could be, bare minimum, the parent's probably going to get fired. Was it worth it? Was it worth all of that? Was it worth all of that? Would you fight students at your teenage child's school? Would you do this? Let me know your thoughts in the comment section, of course. Instagram, Facebook, Twitter, at Diamond K Show. At Diamond K Show. We're going to take a quick break, come back with more. I got plenty of topics, plenty of topics to get into. Welcome back to the Diamond K Show, of course, on fire-tv.com. I am here normally 6 p.m. As you can see, well after 6 p.m., we had a lot going on behind the scenes. Now, the Uvalde School District, I don't have a lot of respect for the officers and the school district of Uvalde for the way that they handled that massacre in the springtime. And, a lot of other folks feel the same way. The school district pulled its embattled campus police force off the job, suspended the entire force. Now, there was obviously a wave of protests over the hiring of a former Texas state trooper who was part of the scared, maybe you would call him hesitant, law enforcement response during the shooting at Robb Elementary School. So why would they bring one of these scary folks on? School leaders also put 2 members of the district police department on administrative leave, one of whom has chosen to retire instead. I mean, this is a disgrace group. This is an extraordinary move. I'm surprised at this move. I mean, they didn't have a lot of choices, though. So they are suspending campus police operations 1 month into the new school year in the South Texas community. This is unheard of, but it underscored the pressure, because there is a lot of pressure right now. Pressure that families of some of the 19 children killed during the May 24th attack, and they put this pressure on them. I mean, because the police force lied to the families, lied to the country about this, tried to act like these cops were courageous, tried to act like these cops was on it and handling the business and trying to protect the kids when they were doing anything but that. And then you want to bring these same clowns back to the school? Yeah, I would be outraged as well. The district said it would ask the Texas Department of Public Safety, which had already assigned dozens of troopers to the district for the school year, for additional help. They said that they are confident that the staff and student safely will not be compromised during this transition. The safety of the students, they say, will not be compromised. I mean, that's assuming that nothing happens. This move comes a day after revelations that the district not only hired a former Department of Public Safety trooper who was one of the nearly 400 officers who rushed to the scene of Robb Elementary, but she was among the at least 7 troopers later placed under internal investigations for her actions or lack thereof. She has not responded to voicemails or messages left by anybody. Associated Press has been trying to get in touch with her. CNN first reported of her hiring. And so just a disgrace. You need to get into another line of work. So I'm glad that they fired these folks. If you're too scared to do your job, then I mean, we cannot expect you to be defending the children. It's disgusting. Let me know your thoughts in the comment section. Instagram, Facebook, Twitter, LinkedIn, TikTok at Diamond K Show. We'll be back with more after this. Welcome back. You man, Diamond K in here. Of course, the DiamondKShow.com, on fire-tv.com. So, how high is your water bill? Somebody recently asked me, how often do we have to pay water bills? Do you know the answer to that? All right. So, and what is the average? What is the average cost of your water bill? Now, I suppose that depends on where you live, right? I suppose it depends on how often you keep your water on. Now, gubernatorial candidate, the Democrat Wes Moore, paid a water bill $21,000 after the charges were made public. So, I mean, it's October, so you can expect what they call the October surprises. And Dan Cox is getting smashed by Wes Moore in the polls. So it is not surprising to expect that they're going to try to come up with something. So the water bill of $21,000, Baltimore City. I mean, it was reported that the last time his bill was paid, water bill was paid, was March of 2021. The Moore campaign said on Thursday that the candidate and his wife, Dawn, were unaware of the bill and paid the current balance out of an abundance of caution while they reviewed the accuracy of the charges. They want voters to know that the Moores paid the bill as soon as they became aware of it. Now, I don't know how they weren't aware of the bill for over a year, but look, I wouldn't have been in no rush to pay a $21,000 bill either. Now, the Baltimore Brewer reported Wednesday that Moore owed tens of thousands in water and sewer charges and that the couple had not paid in over 18 months. The Moores made their last payment of $2,000 in March of 2021. So, I mean, if they had just been paying $2,000 every so often, that wouldn't have looked crazy. But they said that they never received a shutoff notice or delinquency notice. So I suppose that could happen. But I guess after 18 months, you're like, we ain't had no water bill. We still got, you know what I mean? You would think. But who knows? I guess next thing is going to come up is they're going to show us the water bill that was mailed out. You know, it just, I don't know. Now, let me say this. Baltimore City does have a history of sending incorrect bills and of residents being unaware of how much they owe. I mean, they just come up with numbers out of the clear blue sky. So I'm not trying to say that I don't believe Wes Moore and his wife, because Baltimore City has a terrible track record with this. An audit of Baltimore City's water billing found that Baltimore has no process for collecting delinquent bills. None. And it results in a substantial financial loss to the city. But what else is new? You're not surprised about that. Baltimore manages 400,000 total water meters in the city and in Baltimore County. So they got a lot of water meters to screw up. Of course, Moore is the Democratic nominee facing Republican Dan Cox in the gubernatorial contest in November. Just a mere 4 weeks away. Just 4 weeks away. Moore, of course, ahead 2-1 over the Donald Trump endorsed conservative from Frederick. So you can get ready. You can get ready to take this L, Trump and Cox and GOP. And then we're going to talk about another L that Dan Cox is taking right after this quick break. Welcome back. You read Diamond K in here. So I said on the other side that we got about 4 weeks until the general election, which is true. So Maryland, the court has upheld the earlier mail-in ballot count. What am I talking about? Maryland's highest court said today that it's going to uphold the lower court's granting of an emergency petition from the state elections board that will allow mail-in ballots to be counted earlier than currently allowed by the law. So mail-in ballots are not going to have to wait until after the election to count them. They're going to be able to count them early. And this is a good thing. This is a good thing. The Maryland Court of Appeals judge wrote that the petition granted last month by Montgomery County Circuit Judge James Bonifant was affirmed in all respects for reasons that will be stated in a later opinion. So Dan Cox and his whole team, they're sad about this. Oh, this was like one of their last hopes to try to, I don't know, cast doubt on the election. This decision is going to be instrumental in helping local election officials complete the count in a timely manner. Oh, Republicans don't want that. They want conflict, confusion. No, they don't want us to count the votes. They want it to take a long time so he can declare victory and try to do this big lie stuff. Yes, but thankfully the courts have thwarted Dan Cox and the evil GOP with regards to this. So the decision, as I said, is going to help officials complete the timely canvassing and tabulation of the ballots. I mean, they got a deadline that this has to be done. State and local boards of elections have begun implementing pre-election day canvassing protocols, which were established during the 2020 general election when the pandemic was starting. This has become popular, and it was something that was put into place because of the emergency of the pandemic. But the thing is that after the emergency order ran out, things went back to the way that they were doing before. And you saw during the primary how long that took. That's going to be a disaster because we're going to have even more people voting this time. So there was a whole lot of back and forth about it. And, I not surprisingly, they tried to make a case. Dan Cox and his folks tried to make a case that they did not want the mail-in ballots to be counted in a timely manner. And of course, the court say, well, what do you propose we're going to do about all of these ballots that are going to come in? We're going to get a lot of ballots, and we only have a certain amount of time for it. And so Dan Cox people was like, I mean, okay, but, you don't have the right as the court to make this decision. So they said, well, what do you propose we do? Well, I don't know. It's just they wanted to have this confusion, and thankfully the courts said otherwise. We're going to have so many mail-in ballots. This way of voting has become very popular amid the COVID-19 pandemic. Many older folks don't want to come into the vote in person. Local boards of elections would not be able to verify the vote count within 10 days. It would take longer than 10 days before we actually had a full count. And that would lead to confusion, and that's what the Republicans want. That would put into jeopardy the seating of winning candidates by the dates of the next term of office. It would be mass confusion. But of course, Dan Cox, his team argued that the state needed to follow the constitutional requirements because once we begin approving the blurring of the lines between the three government branches, we start a slippery slope downhill. Really? That's what you're doing? That's your case? So, of course, the appeals court judge, they were on point. They were ready for the foolishness. And they said that they were talking about this general election only. So should we just accept this domino effect and the turmoil that it could cause? And Dan Cox folks is like, we don't care. We're not saying whether you should or whether you shouldn't. They're saying the question is whether we can, and I believe we cannot. So they're saying let everything go into turmoil. They didn't care. And so the court says, should we just say to citizens, well, I guess we'll just have to wait and address these important issues whenever? You can't tell. You can't tell the folks of Maryland that. We're not going to have the votes counted in 10 days. We don't know when all of the mail-in ballots are going to be counted. That's the answer. This goes to show you this is not the person that you want governing the great state of Maryland. Not at all. Now, counting mail-in ballots before Election Day was allowed during the 2020 election, during the state of emergency, when voting by mail increased due to the pandemic. Now, because the state of emergency expired, the state went back to the law that did not allow mail-in ballots to be counted until after Election Day. Mail-in counting did not begin until 2 days after the primary in July, leaving the outcome of many of those races unknown for days. This is a major election for Maryland. Statewide offices like governor, attorney general, comptroller, all on the ballot, as well as all 188 seats in the General Assembly and the state's 8 House seats and a U.S. Senate seat. There's going to be even more mail-in votes. As of Wednesday of this week, 549,681 voters had requested a mail-in ballot in the state of Maryland. That's more than the 508,000 who asked for them in the primary. Maryland has about 3.8 million eligible active voters. Dan Cox and his team wanted to try and confuse folks and cause an uproar and turmoil, but thankfully the Maryland Court of Appeals ruled against Dan Cox in this. So we're going to have votes counted in a timely manner. Thankfully. Let me know your thoughts in the comment section. Instagram, Facebook, Twitter, LinkedIn, TikTok, at The Diamond K Show. Of course, on all social media, Diamond K Show. Let's take a quick break, and we'll be back with more right after this. Today's broadcast was brought to you in part by City View Bar and Grill. City View is a family-friendly, casual dining bar and restaurant, providing high-quality food and good old-fashioned friendly service. At City View Bar and Grill, you can live every hour like it's happy hour. The food is mouth-watering, the atmosphere is fun, energetic, and mature. Located at 6700 Security Boulevard in Gwynn Oak, Maryland, a.k.a. Woodlawn, it is the City View Bar and Grill. Stop in today or visit cityviewmd.com. That's cityviewmd.com. The 2022 Baltimore Crown Awards goes down Saturday, November the 19th at the Garage, 6 Lafayette Avenue in Baltimore. This year's celebration is an Emerald Party. There is a dress code. It's emerald green, and that is to celebrate the 16-year anniversary of the Baltimore scene movement. Please come dressed in the theme and the color for a visual unity that reflects the theme for the evening. It's hosted by comedian Desi Alexander. You can cast your votes right now. Visit thebaltimorescene.org. We'll see you Saturday, November the 19th, 2022 for the Baltimore Crown Awards. Welcome back. Your man Diamond K in here, of course. We are looking forward to the Baltimore Crown Awards. Shout out to Shinyer and the whole team at the Baltimore scene. So, President Biden, good old President Biden, slow Joe Biden is what I call him, but He is the president. Now, Joe Biden is pardoning thousands of Americans convicted of simple possession of marijuana under federal law. Now, his administration is taking a drastic step toward decriminalizing the drug and addressing charging practices that disproportionately impact people of color. A lot of people are happy about this, and I think it's a good move. It also covers thousands of folks convicted of the crime in D.C. He's also calling on governors to issue similar pardons for those convicted of state marijuana offenses, which reflect the vast majority of marijuana possession cases. Now, where have we heard something like this before? Biden said in a statement that no one should be in jail just for using or possessing marijuana. Too many lives have been upended because of our failed approach to marijuana, he said. It's time that we right all these wrongs. According to the White House, no one is currently in federal prison solely for simple possession of the drug, but the pardon could help thousands overcome obstacles to renting a home or finding a job. Now, I just know that we've heard something like this before. I cannot. If you remember, 2019, Baltimore City State's Attorney Marilyn Mosby announced that she would no longer prosecute marijuana possession cases, and some folks here just lost their minds. Now, State's Attorney Mosby said that she applauds President Biden's decision to pardon prior federal marijuana possession convictions. This measure is a long time coming and is an important step towards decriminalizing marijuana. For far too long, our drug policies have disproportionately harmed communities of color, rendering many individuals and families unable to move past the damage of criminal records for marijuana possession. This has created persistent barriers to employment, housing, and educational opportunities. This is something that Marilyn Mosby talked about in 2019. It is one of the things that folks use when they say she's quote unquote soft on crime. But now Joe Biden, the president, thankfully is rolling this out. But I want folks got a whole different energy now. She was a trendsetter with regards to this. Now, as Baltimore City State's attorney, she made this decision in 2019. It's 2022 to no longer prosecute marijuana possession cases regardless of amount or a person's prior criminal record. And the right, Republicans, Fox 45, and the other conservative media here was trying to pitch this whole thing like she was soft on crime, when that could not have been further from the truth. Now, her office has pushed for the court to vacate 5,000 simple possession convictions. These decisions were made in the interest of justice, equity, and to improve police-community relations while allowing her office and the police department to dedicate more time and resources to fighting violent crime. This is something, and I think that her office would have benefited from a more direct and more help from the media, from the progressive media, to push some of these thoughts out there. The conservative media in Maryland, in Baltimore, like Fox 45 and the other enemies of the state's attorney and just opponents, whoever. She was not soft on crime, is not soft on crime. And prosecuting marijuana possession cases has no public safety value. No public safety value. You had a lot of cases and a lot of individuals that were kind of being focused on, and we have major violent crime. We have things that the officers could be focused on, and simple marijuana cases just to have somebody arrested. That doesn't help the city. That doesn't help reduce crime, because we're talking about fighting violent crime. Fighting violent crime. Marijuana possession is not a violent crime. So definitely want to salute State's Attorney, Baltimore City State's Attorney Marilyn Mosby, for being a trendsetter in this regard. 2019. Thankfully, Joe Biden, I said that he's slow, right? Slow Joe catching up to where Marilyn Mosby was in 2019. He just got there here in 2022. Well, I guess the phrase goes, better late than never.
It's the Diamond K Show.
So much going on in the world. You talk about things from the perspective of how it is. DJ Diamond K, sometimes it comes off like you are almost not in support of, but you just accept the way things are and there's no chance of change. Check me out on YouTube. That's the part that I am just like,
On firetv.com.
Welcome back. Your man Diamond K in here, of course, the Diamond K Show on fire-tv.com. Sad story out of New York. New York police car plowing through a group of people in a police chase. It's gone wrong. Earlier this week on Wednesday, a group of New Yorkers witnessed a horrific on-camera incident that saw several of their fellow pedestrians injured at the hands of the NYPD. An NYPD Land Cruiser inadvertently jumped a curb and plowed into about 8 bystanders at a bus stop. This happened on Westchester Avenue. The events leading up to the accident involved a high-speed police chase where the driver of the police Land Cruiser was in a hot pursuit of a car thief. You ever seen them driving through? Now, back in the day, they used to, here in Baltimore, back in the day, they used to chase folks on the dirt bikes. When the homies were on dirt bikes, they used to do police chases. Then they stopped doing that because it became such a public safety, just putting folks in danger big time. So according to reports, the cop car had its emergency lights on as it was swerving through traffic. But when the automobile clipped another vehicle involved from behind, it spun out of control and jumped the curb, striking a large number of people. Here's what they're going to do. They're going to blame all of this on, on the driver that they were chasing. They're going to blame all of this on him. In the aftermath, 10 people, including the cops of the aforementioned Land Cruiser, were all injured in this freak accident. The devastation left behind saw one patron in particular lying in a puddle of their own blood, while 2 more victims could be seen hyperventilating on the ground as well. Just hoping that everybody is okay in this. That's just a sad situation. Sad situation. So Steffi says that Fox 45 gave her the blues. Baltimore City is real trouble. Martin O'Malley, Ed Norris with zero tolerance. Yep, she's right. He definitely did. Of course, she's talking about, Baltimore City State's Attorney Marilyn Mosby. Fox 45 just going after her for all kind of things, because they don't like her policy. They didn't like her because she's a strong black woman. They didn't like her. And that's pretty much what, that's all they had. She's a strong black woman. We don't like her. Right? That's I mean, that's all they had. What else did they have on her? What else did she really do? You know, she came in. This is a tough city and a tough job. I wouldn't want that job. But you have folks like Marilyn Mosby, like Ivan Bates, that are going to attempt to do that job, and it is a thankless job. I mean, because essentially they gotta lock folks up. That's a tough job. I wouldn't want it. Wouldn't want it at all. Do this. We're gonna take a quick break and come back with more of the show. Finish things out right after this. Hey, so doing this late night thing as opposed to my 6 p.m. thing, it's not that bad. I thought it was going to be terrible. It's not that bad. It's kind of okay. The January 6th committee has announced the October 13th return of the public hearings. The House Select Committee investigating this insurrection that happened January 6th, 2021. They're going to be back. And the committee had to reschedule this hearing, of course, because of the hurricane. This will be the panel's 10th hearing since it was formed. They did not specify the topic of the hearing, but I am looking forward to seeing that. Members have promised that the hearing next week will reveal new information that it uncovered and had not previously disclosed. So I'm looking forward to that. Of course, we're going to be covering that and streaming live when it goes down. I will be back here tomorrow. And of course, I'm going to go into the mix with the Baltimore Club Show. You can check that out. Miss any episodes of any program here at On Fire TV, just go to onfire-tv.com. Check that out. YouTube, you can subscribe on YouTube and check us out live, onfire-tv.com/watch. Anytime you want to see that. And you want to catch up on any episodes of my show, onfire-tv.com/Diamond K. But we got a whole gang of shows and more shows to come. This has been a lot of fun, and I will see you guys tomorrow.
On Fire TV is a streaming network for a generation on the move.